Chosen ones, welcome to the Starseer channel. This channel is here to go beyond ordinary truths, to go deep into the soul and make you face yourself. If you are watching this video, it is not a coincidence. Perhaps you are one of them, one of the chosen ones. We often hear the expression, the chosen ones. It sounds like a myth or a fairy tale. But what if I told you that the chosen ones are not born, they are created? They are shaped by a series of tests that most people are not even aware of. These tests are neither physical nor visible. They cannot be measured because these tests are spiritual, mental, emotional, and they are the toughest tests that a human being can face. Very few people pass them, even fewer complete them. But those who succeed are eternally changed. Life itself is a test, but not everyone passes the same test. There are levels to it. The deeper you go, the greater the difficulty. The chosen ones are those who are willing to face these most difficult tests because they have no other choice. There is an unquenchable, unshakable call within them. It tells them, you have to live it. This path is neither flashy nor optional. These tests will take you to extremes. They make you question your beliefs, your identity, your whole reality. But if you can endure, a new person is born from within you. When you are forced to face the reality of who you really are, the first test starts. We devote a great deal of work to creating a mask of who we are that we present to the outside world. We use our careers, relationships, and belongings to define who we are. However, the first test eliminates all of that. It compels you to see yourself without the mask when you gaze in the mirror. Most people find this moment unsettling since it feels like they are looking into a void. When the outside world doesn't define you, who are you? When everything you believe to be you is taken away, who are you? This initial test is too difficult for many people. They go back. They withdraw into their delusions for solace. However, those who are meant for higher things, the chosen ones, do not turn away. Who am I really? Is the most difficult question people ask themselves as they stand there gazing into the mirror and the abyss. Did you ever ask yourself that question? As a burning question that won't go away until you get the answer, rather than as a passing thought. The test of isolation is the second test. Social media, the workplace, friends, and family are all sources of noise in our ever-present environment. But you have to be willing to be alone in order to pass this test, not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally. You have to be prepared to sit in solitude with yourself and face your own desires, fears, and ideas. You will start to hear something else in that silence, a voice that has always existed but has been muffled by the din of the outside world. Your genuine self is beckoning to you through your inner voice. Is it audible? Silence terrifies most individuals because they fear what they could hear. The chosen, however, welcome it. They are aware that the truth is hidden in the stillness. You see, the tests that test your soul are more difficult than those that test your body. For many people, the third test, the test of letting go, is arguably the most challenging. We cling to a lot of things in life, including disappointments, expectations, and grudges. We are dragged down by the burden of the past that we bear. However, in order to pass this exam, you have to be prepared to let go of everything, including your attachment to things, people, and results. This implies you stop clutching, but it doesn't mean you stop caring. You have faith that what is meant for you will find its way to you and that what is not will fade away. Letting go is an incredibly powerful act, not a sign of weakness. However, the truth is that letting go is a gradual process. It's a procedure. You must continually remind yourself to trust and let go. and life throws something at you that makes you want to cling again just when you believe you've conquered it. You have to question yourself. Am I willing to let go, even of this, during these times? To be free, how much are you willing to let go? You've already started to change if you've passed the first 3 tests. However, the path only gets more difficult from here. It doesn't get any easier. Even the most resilient souls have been broken by the 4th test. The dark night of the soul is the name given to it. Everything you thought you understood and believed in will be completely upended by this test. The universe seems to be putting you to the test by posing the question, how much darkness can you endure before you lose your light? You are thrown into a period of severe inner conflict during the dark night of the soul. The world seems to be collapsing all around you. Relationships break down. Careers disappear. You lose your sense of direction, and all that's left for you are questions. Why is this taking place? How could I have earned this? Above all else, shall I ever emerge from this darkness? The dark night of the soul, however, is a cleansing rather than a punishment. It's an essential stage in your spiritual development. The purpose of the darkness is to remove anything that is not really you, not to destroy you. Your greatest brightness can be found in the darkest times, but only if you can persevere. When put to the test, the majority of individuals become hopeless. They give up. In the shadows, they become lost. The chosen ones, however, never give up. They resist the urge to give up. They realize that the darkness is only a phase and will pass. Even when they are unable to see the way ahead, they continue to move forward. Even if they can't see it yet, they have faith that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. The test of faith, not religious faith, but faith in oneself, the cosmos, and life itself, is the 5th test. When you are in the dark night of the soul, you need to believe that the darkness will pass, and that, despite your inability to perceive it, a bigger plan is at work, because it asks you to believe in something you cannot see or prove. This test is arguably one of the most difficult. It necessitates having faith in the invisible and believing that everything occurs for a purpose, even if that reason is not immediately apparent to you. Faith is not blind. It's not about denying the suffering or acting as though nothing is wrong. Recognizing the suffering, experiencing it completely, and still deciding that there is a reason for it is what faith is all about. It's about believing that even when it seems like everything is falling apart, the universe is working for you rather than against you. The problem is that your faith will be repeatedly put to the test while you are in the dark night of the soul. You will be tempted to give up, to think that the darkness is all there is, and to lose hope. However, those that are chosen persevere. Even when it seems like there is nothing left to cling to, they maintain their faith. Even though it seems like they are getting farther into the darkness with each step, they continue to move forward. You eventually reach a precipice after struggling with the questions, doubts, and anxieties for a sufficient amount of time. The 6th test, the test of surrender, starts at this point. You have already demonstrated that you are strong, resilient, and able to bear a great deal of suffering and uncertainty if you have made it thus far. However, this exam is about relinquishing control, not strength. It's about giving yourself over to the forces that are more stronger than your own will, and to the flow of life. And this is the most difficult test of all, in many respects. Humans, you see, enjoy having authority. We attempt to mold our lives, our futures, and our relationships in accordance with our goals and expectations by organizing, planning, and strategizing. However, life doesn't always go as planned. More often than not, it leads us down unexpected paths that are frequently enigmatic, occasionally happy, and occasionally terrible. Those who realize that control is a myth are the ones who have been selected. They realize that a higher intelligence, a force that is considerably more knowledgeable than the finite human mind, is at work, and they are prepared to give in to that power, to relinquish their desire to influence the result. However, surrendering does not imply giving up. It does not imply that you cease to care or to strive. It indicates that you give up resisting. This indicates that you give up resisting life's tide and let it carry you instead. Consider yourself in a river, swimming. You will exhaust yourself and achieve nothing if you attempt to swim upstream against the current. However, you will be readily transported to your destination if you allow yourself to be carried by the river. Giving yourself over to life is like this. You will be asked to let go of more than just your plans during this test. You can be asked to give up your identity, ego, and even your conception of who you are. You can be urged to give up your dreams, attachments, and desires. A sacrifice of this nature does not occur suddenly. It's a process, and trust is necessary. Have faith in life. Have faith in yourself. Despite your inability to perceive it, have faith in the bigger picture that is developing. You are already one of the select few who have faced the most difficult challenges if you have made it this far, if you have passed the surrender exam. However, there is still one last test to complete, and it is the most important one. It's the awakening test, the point at which you realize your purpose. Then you realize the ultimate reality that has always been your compass. The ultimate test is one of realization rather than endurance. What you can see is more important than what you can do. The curtain is lifted at this point, allowing you to view the world and yourself for what they really are. It's the point at when you realize your mission and comprehend why you have put yourself through all of the hardships, the uncertainty, and the suffering. The chosen ones are selected because they have made the decision to awaken, not because they are unique, even when it is uncomfortable and contradicts all they have ever thought. They have made the decision to see the truth. And this is the reality people come to. You are not distinct from life. You're not a victim of your situation. You are life itself, manifesting itself in a special way and by a special path. Realizing that all of your hardships and challenges were intended to help you get closer to this reality is the ultimate test. They were made to help you realize the deeper reality that lies underneath everything by removing the egoic wants, false identities, and illusions. And that fact is that you have a purpose for being here. Life itself wanted to experience itself through you, which is why you are here. Your purpose is something you already live every single second of every day. It is not something you need to discover outside of yourself. You are asked to awaken to this truth in the final exam, to realize that you are an essential component of the cosmos rather than something distinct from it. And everything changes when you realize this fact. You realize that life is already going just as planned, so you no longer feel the need to exert control. You understand that your purpose is just to be, to experience and express life in whichever way seems most authentic to you, and you no longer feel the need to look for it. However, this realization marks the start of a new journey rather than its conclusion. You are free from the constraints of your thoughts, ego, and anxieties after passing this last test. You're at liberty. You are free to live a happy, meaningful, and purposeful life. Free from the burden of uncertainty or dread to create, love, and explore. This is the last test's gift. This is the prize for persevering through the most difficult trials that are reserved for the selected. Now I ask you, are you ready to wake up? Are you really ready to face the truth of your identity and purpose in this world? This journey is not easy. These trials will challenge your heart, mind, and soul. But if you can endure, if you can keep walking despite the pain, uncertainty, and darkness, what awaits you on the other side will be greater than you can imagine. This is the path of the chosen ones. And it is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who are ready to go through the deepest trials, face the greatest inner struggles, and finally be reborn as someone awakened, changed, and liberated. If you have come this far, if something made you watch this video to the end, maybe you are one of them, one of the chosen ones. You are not alone on this journey. On the Starseer channel, you will meet other chosen souls who are walking this path like you. In new videos, deeper insights and guidance await you. Subscribe and remember, you did not come to this world by chance. You are here to walk this path. Chosen one, continue to follow the light within until our next meeting. With love from the Starseer channel.